This thing needs Jesus in its life.
This is a 1991 Defender.
I want to do the whole thing.
Sure.
Brand new chassis, brand new motor.
We're basically just keeping some of the body parts. I think it's gonna be more of like a rugged luxury type setup.
Thinking ahead?
That's a problem.
If we're going full titanium, man, that's gonna be a trick.
Tell you what, we can put a front axle in the rear.
Oh,
you can have rear steer.
Ooh, that'd be crazy. Daniel's got our new front end in here.
You know, this is an old axle housing that we had in the back.
We're fixing to light this baby up and play with it and see if it wiggles.
Steer it. Oh, look at that, boy.
Oh my God. Wow.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
How you doing?
This is her. You've done a couple builds for me,
Sure.
but this one's special.
Okay, tell me how.
So my wife was raised in Africa, and all the pictures that I've ever seen is their car was a 91 Defender.
Well, that's what this is.
And she's a 91, so she was born in 91 too. So I want to get this done exactly for her. There's actually a picture that I have of her sitting on the front of one of these on safari. And that's
Really?
what, yeah, and that's what gave me the idea, and she's always let me have my toys.
Sure.
So now I'm ready to give her one.
But this is the African off-road vehicle if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely.
The Defender's been around for an extremely long time, and actually the Defender and the Hummer share a lot of history together because they're both military vehicles. After World War II, the Land Rover Defender was British's answer to the Jeep Willys. All right, so we're thinking like kind of restoration, old school. We're thinking like bring it up to date, make it more reliable, more fuel efficient,
Yeah,
a lot more fun.
Yeah, always more fun.
Okay, more
Thinking
fun.
like a little bit more like resto mod is, but I want to do the whole thing.
Sure.
Brand new chassis, brand new motor,
Absolutely.
paint, interior, the Mod Mafia package.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna do a stock engine rebuild on this, or are we going with something a little more wild?
No, I think it needs to go faster than a golf cart. So
Sounds good to me.
The diesel engines are definitely tried and true for what they were designed for,
Sure.
being on safari, super slow. But you know me, I'm gonna want to have some power in it
Absolutely.
because whenever I get to take it out, I'm
Big
gonna want it
pedal.
to big pedal.
Big pedal.
Big pedal.
Yeah.
So
Let's go look under the hood.
absolutely. Not what we would have in today's world, but
All right. Yeah, 4-cylinder diesel, little turbo right here, looking cute.
itty bitty turbo.
I mean, that might be the smallest turbo I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's we've got a lot of work to do here.
Yep.
But as much as you think this needs improvement, wait till you see the interior.
Okay. Oh, man.
So yeah,
This
Told
needs
ya.
a lot of work.
It
This is
needs-
a far cry from some of the performance automobiles your wife is accustomed to.
well, that's the goal. I have
Yeah.
to make this now like what she's normally used to.
This might be the biggest challenge.
Well, what are some of your ideas?
I know they make a Puma Dash for this. It's very popular, very upscale, has a lot of modern gauges in it, technology, etc. Connects to your phone real easily, stuff like
Perfect.
that. Another thing we're gonna work on is sound. So one of the luxury features that some of the premium brands have is all the sound deadening they have. So we're gonna go through and get a lot of sound deadening throughout.
Perfect. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
So you wanna keep it real rugged,
Yep.
but still add a lot of luxury.
Absolutely.
The general condition of this truck is it's really tired, and it's old tech. So those two combined means it's completely refreshed. New designs, new engineering, new standards, higher, stronger rated stuff, especially for the engine we're gonna put in it. I mean, we're gonna do a lot of stuff on the suspension, obviously get it riding smooth, handling better, safer, stop quicker, all those type things. More power, some get up and go. And then we gotta obviously really address that interior, man, because that's rough. Like bad rough. And we're gonna make it some rugged luxury.
I like that. They will not sacrifice quality. My car could be a month late, but I know when I get it, they're gonna do it right, and they do it right the first time. There's only one request I have to tell you is that,
Only one?
well, only one. I know
Okay,
there'll be more
no
later.
more requests.
There will be a lot more requests.
Okay, no,
But the-
stop saying that.
But the most important one is you got to build this better than all the ones you've built for me.
That's a big request.
Always in the mafia.
Thank you.
All right, see you,
man.
man.
I really like the look of this truck. Defenders are really popular to customize for a reason. There's no doubt this is going to take a lot of work to make it off-road capable and full of modern luxury. We're really excited to be able to do this Mod Mafia's way.
Defender 110, I love these. Whose is this?
Well, this is for Ryan, more importantly, Ryan's wife. And he said, literally, this has to be better than anything you've ever made for me.
Okay, so that's setting the bar pretty high.
It has no AC, has no radio, crank windows.
What's she gonna be using it for?
So she's gonna be using it kind of as a fun car. So like weekends, you know, going up into the mountains, having fun, maybe some light off-roading, but also be able to go to the mall or...
So she wants capability, drivability, maybe even daily driver
Yeah,
status.
it has to be daily driver ready.
Okay, so nothing too crazy as far as like the engine and drivetrain, stuff like that.
No.
I think a Crate LS3 engine would be perfect for this truck.
Yeah.
Automatic?
Yep. Yeah, because it's a manual now. He wants it to go to be an automatic, but we want to kind of make it still look like a manual. So it kind of has that old school look, but...
Right.
Yeah, the exhaust is gonna have to be at least 3 or 4 times larger than that. We'll probably go with 3-inch pipe on that LS. Wow, it's so small.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking on the suspension?
I think we should go with a whole new chassis. As we go from, this is leaf spring, I want to go with coil, and then whole new frame.
One thing I've really noticed about this truck is it doesn't have an exterior roll cage on it. So
Right.
Are we looking at doing any of those things? And I would probably say it needs a new top.
Yes, the interior is going to be a big challenge because she's used to some top-level luxury vehicles.
And how do we make it luxurious on such a simple vehicle?
Right, so I think it's going to be more of like a rugged luxury type setup, right?
What we've done with some of the Hummer and H1 stuff, I think we can apply here because we've got some rugged luxury in some of our other trucks before.
Exactly.
So I think we can take some cues from those. We have suspension, we have the body, we need a new roof, roll cage, the engine and drivetrain. This is a lot to do.
Oh, yeah, we're basically just keeping some of the body parts. Miguel is going to start by tearing everything out. And once he's done with that, the old roof is about to cave in. So we're pulling it off and replacing it with an aluminum one.
This is aluminum body, so it doesn't really rust, but it oxidizes and it becomes weak. So we got to, replace and patch those areas. And we're going to strip it to bare sheet aluminum, to just the body. I got the front, the seats all gone. I'm tearing away the carpet, but now I'm moving on to the back. Once I'm done with the back, I'm going to go ahead and remove the top. This is a snorkel, allows you to go underwater, but we won't use it, so we're gonna just take it off. This was a dummy. There's supposed to be a hole in here and a duct leading straight to the intake, but this is just for looks. And if the customer thought this was an actual snorkel, and if he takes it underwater, he could ruin his engine. Just get water straight in there. So it's a good thing we found this, and we're gonna get rid of it. I'm unbolting the top and getting ready for it to come off. All right, so this is the original roof. It's fiberglass. As you can see, it's been sagging. There's no reinforcement. There's no way we can fix that, and it's really not safe. So we're going with an old aluminum hardtop that we salvaged from a different truck. It doesn't look good, but structurally it's good. It's sound. Does not sag. It's full aluminum. At the body shop, they're gonna have this look brand new, new seals, new everything, and you're not gonna tell it was ever used. We're gonna go ahead and put this on top of the Defender, and it's gonna be ready for body. All right, that's about it. It's ready for the body shop.
Even though the 1991 Defender might not seem that old to guys like us, it's still been over 30 years. And for this truck, that's been over 30 years of wear and tear. In our experience, it's always better to replace the chassis and suspension.
You're good. Because the Defender is an iconic car, there's companies still making these frames, and I guarantee you, when you rebuild a Defender, you're gonna want a new frame. We're starting off from the frame, and from then on, we're building off of it. Ooh, look at that. We got LS3 and a 6L80 transmission, pretty much a plug and play. All you do is you set up the fuel, plug it into power, and you're good to go. I'm gonna take the intake off because we're gonna lift it from the intake. Go ahead, cover these holes. We don't want any debris going in there. Next step, we're gonna go ahead and mount the transmission. Way up.
Oh, mine's in.
All right, we gotta get the transfer case adapter, all that installed. In a four-wheel drive vehicle, you need a transfer case. It connects the rear drive shaft and the front drive shaft, and that's what makes it a four-wheel drive vehicle. We had this adapter made so we can go ahead and bolt on the original transfer case onto this new drivetrain. Obviously, the Defender didn't come with an LS3 and a 6L80, so that's why we had this baby made.
Is it gonna hit?
That's a problem. Okay, we gotta cut that off.
We ran into a little problem. So the T-case is actually hitting right here when we try to slide it on. So we are going to have to cut the transmission mount here at the bottom so we can get the T-case on. In custom builds, it's just a really common occurrence to where you're going to have to modify anything on the engine or transmission, drivetrain-wise, to get certain things to fit. It happens pretty often. In a custom build, you're usually slapping things together that normally aren't supposed to fit together, so you're always gonna have some problems. Bam!
Ruben!
What's up, Daniel?
Ruben's been bringing us Scarface for a bunch of years now. When he first brought it to us, it was a big truck, but now, this thing's a monster. He's always constantly wanting bigger, better. I mean, the dude, he just don't stop. Uh-oh. Doing all right?
I'm all right.
Every time you come over, I know you got something up your sleeve, brother.
You know me. So I got the Bronco about 20 years ago. Decided to put a small little lift on it. Wasn't satisfied. Went with a bigger lift on it. Wasn't satisfied. And now I have that monster truck. Look, the way it sits, this big.
What you got? What you trying to do now?
One of the main problems is I've been out there, you know, hitting the trails and stuff, and I don't get that turning radius that I would love.
Going down four-wheeler trails again?
Yeah. You guess right. You guess right.
Okay, I got you. Let's check it out, man. See what we come up with.
All right.
Well?
So what you think?
You know, this thing being short wheelbase, it doesn't like to steer.
It don't?
Really ain't nothing we can do with the front, but I tell you what, we can put a front axle in the rear.
Oh,
you can have rear steer.
Whoa. Monster trucks.
You know, like Gravedigger.
Gravedigger, Bigfoot?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that'd be crazy.
And well, you'll be able to steer the front and the rear separate. So if you didn't want to steer the front, you could just steer the back.
Ooh, crab walk.
Crab walk.
I'm getting goosebumps all over my body.
You might get yourself in a bind, trust me.
Oh man, that's just exciting to hear.
Yeah, there's no telling what we're gonna do,
know.
brother. You know, one of the coolest things with rear steer on your vehicle is you're able to crab walk it. I mean, this thing will just get completely sideways, but it'll still be going straight.
To be able to crab walk this truck down the trails and just at the truck shows so people could be like, damn. Remember last time I rolled over? It shot me out the window,
Okay.
broke my nose.
Yeah.
I don't have a roll cage. I want some protection. You think we could do a little something on that?
Yeah, you definitely. I could build you something, you know, for safety. I don't want to put another body on this thing.
No, this body is pretty
So
nice.
I don't prefer you roll it over, but I understand. You got to be safe. This roll bar is a must. This is the second body I've put on this truck, and I really don't want to put another one.
Let's do it, D. I'm ready. Scarface already turns heads por todos lados. Now I can't imagine crab walking into the scene.
Perfect.
All right, D, she's all yours.
Yes, sir.
Take care of my baby.
Oh, you know I got you, brother.
All right,
I
cool.
got you. I'll call you.
All right.
Morning, D.
What's up, man? You all right?
Man, you know, this rain ain't no good. I had to drive the pickup. I'd rather rode the bike.
Whew, it's cold, dude.
Man, I see the Scarface truck is back.
You know Ruben, man. He don't never stop.
Okay.
We're gonna have to build him a whole axle for this thing.
That's all he needs, man. He already rolled it once. We're gonna make the back steer too now?
Gonna raw parts from this one and other parts that we have already, and we're gonna get them one together.
So all we got is just a housing.
That's all we got.
It's all right, though. All this stuff's interchangeable, so we got the parts here.
We're also gonna do a little roll cage on here, you know, because now that the rear steers, and this being the second body, well, you know, he's gonna need a little protection, so.
For real. You think we'll still be able to get that top off of there?
Well, I would imagine.
You know, just because it came off in 1984 don't mean it's gonna come off in 2023.
You think the bolts ain't gonna come loose?
Well, we're gonna just hopefully it makes it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and get it turned around, make sure I don't run over anything.
I got you.
And we'll get this thing ripped apart.
Bet, let's get her done.
This is definitely not as simple as just swapping another rear axle. You know, this thing turns now, so it has to have a steering ram put on it. Basically, it's identical to the front. It's just in the rear.
I went ahead and brought us some wood, D. It's gonna be a cold day.
Right now, we're gonna pull off the whole rear axle and the tire.
So right now, we're just removing the shocks. Daniel has it suspended here on the forklift. That way the bolts come out nice and easy. It's in a bind, there we go.
Yeah.
Man, that wasn't too bad, huh? Made it look easy.
All right, pop them wheels off. I'll strip it down. You know, this ain't the lightest tire. It ain't the biggest tires we dealt with, but none of them are for sure easy to move around. Ugh. Well, we got these big heavy wheels and tires removed. We're gonna go ahead and cut these brackets off and reuse them, because hey, metal's expensive nowadays.
I get to do my favorite thing. Cut all this stuff off with fire. Oh yeah.
Even though we're not using this axle, we're gonna use some of its parts. We're removing the differential from the housing and we're cutting off the pumpkin so we can use both on the new axle.
So D's out there getting rid of our old axle right now. He's gonna bring in the new one. We're gonna get it all assembled up and get it ready to go back underneath the Scarface Bronco. Daniel's got our new front end in here. He said it was just a housing, and boy, he was not lying. This thing needs Jesus in its life.
We're giving this truck rear steer. Basically, we're Frankensteining our old axle housing to create a whole new rear steer axle that mirrors the front.
There's a lot of guys way better at this than me, but maybe with about 20 more years of practice, I'll get there. So now what we're doing is we left a lot of overhang here. We're gonna trim and trim till we get this to fit good. It's a lot easier to keep removing small amounts than it is to add it back on later. Hopefully, if this is working right, it's gonna just fit right on there and everything's gonna be wonderful with the world.
This is the gear that rides in the center here. So what we like to do, so you wanna make sure that your gear is not rubbing in here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get some tacks and I'll weld it in sections. Keep the heat, you know, dispersing around the whole thing so it doesn't warp. You know, that's how I like to do it. It's all welded in.
Here's the heavy part, right? 1, 2, 3.
Slide it back a little bit.
Yeah, before she flips off.
You know, this is an old axle housing that we had in the back. Luckily, Dad doesn't throw nothing away. One of my favorite things about these differentials is if you're like me and you don't maintenance it like you're supposed to, or somehow or another it's getting water in it because you got a seal bad. So all the ring gears and bearings is up, you know, up on the top here. So everything will drip down to the bottom. Not saying you can fill these full of water, they're just, to me, they last a lot longer that way. Now that the differential and the axle is all assembled, we can start on the steering ram. We're going with a hydraulic steering ram, which will turn these wheels and tires left to right with a flip of a switch. So this is gonna be our mount. We're gonna do a double-ended ram on this deal here, and I'm gonna grind all this. And I will grind this side because it's a little dirty. And I just gotta get everything clean before we can mock it up. Get to mocking the steering ram up. So you're gonna kind of put it right above your fill plug where you can still get to it. Turbo, she gets the best sleep next to that heater right there. Look at her. As you can see here, this is where the holes are for the ram. So it's gonna bolt up right there. Rotor and everything's gonna clear. It's gonna be real close, but I think we might get away with this one. All right, now I got our steering ram all mocked up, tacked up on here. I don't have anything welded. So now I'm gonna build my tie rods. I always like to go ahead and get my tubing. Dad, make sure he's nice and straight.
That's pretty straight right there, buddy.
Pretty straight or is perfect?
I would call that perfect.
Okay. The tie rods will connect the steering ram to the wheels.
Check it again.
And just like that, you got a tie rod. See, it's nice and smooth. Ain't nothing binding up. You know it's gonna go down the trail nice and good. Now to get this thing all bolted up and welded. This is our electric over hydraulic pump. This is what is gonna steer the rear steering, which has got a reservoir for your fluid, got a fitting here, that runs down to your hydraulic ram, which steers it left and right. You don't want this in, the water or mud getting on it, so we're gonna mount it inside the truck. So we'll drop the truck down on the ground and get us a game plan.
So Daniel got me on a mission. Today we're gonna run the hoses through the floor and get our rear steer working.
Most of the time, whenever we get ready to mount these into the truck, we have to take our battery cables and run them all the way to the front where everybody usually has their battery. But Ruben has a battery in the back to supply all them amps for this sound system he has. So we're gonna go ahead and utilize this. Hopefully all that works out for us.
Want to make sure we don't drill too deep in here because we have the fuel tank. It's right underneath here.
Dave knows what he's doing here. He's messed with these pumps. They've got these things on tractors.
Back when I had a real job.
Back when you had a real job.
Robert got it all bolted up underneath. Now what we're going to do is drill a couple holes in the bed so we can run our hydraulic hoses down to the cylinder.
That's a great spot. That's exactly where I wanted it.
If we drill a hole in the gas tank, Robert, it's your fault. You ready?
Go ahead and drill it. All right.
How about that?
Man, that is a wonderful hole.
You want to run one up through there? Or you want me to drop it down to you?
Through there and see what it looks like. There we go. There we go.
This baby's pretty close for a test drive. We put the wheels on it.
So what's gonna happen is fluid's gonna come through these lines and it's gonna push this cylinder either left or right. And now it's just as simple as hooking this on. So we're gonna wanna make sure that there's enough slack to give so that when the suspension comes all the way down, it doesn't just rip the line off.
We've been probably working on this truck for 15 plus years. I really do think it'll help him out a lot when he's stuck on the trails. Got some fresh, brand new hydraulic oil in this beast. We're fixing to light this baby up and play with it and see if it wiggles.
Ooh, look at that. I heard it.
Pump her on.
So I'm steering it left and right. We need to put tires on this baby.
What's this problem? Nah, see?
And it's magnetized, so you don't drop it off in the water and lose it.
Woohoo! That's some real Monster Jam stuff right there now. Look at that. Steer it. Oh, look at that.
Ruben is going to be so happy, so overwhelmed with this rear steer.
We just installed the small block V8 on this chassis of this 91 Defender, and now it's time to do the suspension.
Spring goes in and then clamps it right there like that. See that?
Gotcha.
With the new upgraded chassis we're installing, we're not using leaf spring design, we're using coils, which is a lot better for a high performance setup that we're building here.
Down. Down. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yep, she's not going anywhere.
These are the shock towers. This is what attaches the shock to the frame. So we got the front done. Now we're gonna jump into the rear, install the lower control arms, upper control arms, then springs and shocks.
While we're finishing the rolling chassis in this bay, we're moving the body over to paint. The owners want a very specific bronze color that has a lot of flake, and George is mixing it together right now.
So the first color we start out with, we're gonna move down and we're gonna get our jet black. On the next paint that I use is fine metallic, and it shows me exactly 20.2 ounces. This is the coarse metallic, so this is gonna give it the flake. 435 salmon red. So I grew up in a body shop as a little kid, riding around on the creepers and having fun with the wrenches. Oh, I've been painting probably about 35 years. Well, I've worked with my father for a long time. We painted for years and years together. And as I put it in, I watch the scale to see that I get it right on the dot. It's gonna be more like a sandstone with a little gold. It's gonna be like a bronze color. So let's go down and see if we can put some color on this thing.
Today we're gonna start doing the Defender exhaust. We're gonna mix some stainless and some titanium. We're gonna do all stainless piping, but then we're gonna do some titanium pie cuts to give. We're gonna do some bluing. It's gonna be as close to looking as a Lambo exhaust as you're gonna get for a Land Rover Defender. From this point, from the collector all the way back to the tailpipes, we're going full titanium. Titanium pies, titanium tubes. It's gonna look real sharp. We're going with the titanium because in high heat situations, it cools pretty much instantly. We're gonna take it straight back, and then we're gonna dump it off to the back, to each side, and then it'll come out, and it'll come down the side of the ride and angle back out to the tips. So I just like to tape everything up on short runs to give me my overall outlook how it's gonna be. Now we'll take our measurement tape here and we'll get us a nice measurement. It's 8 inches, that clears me here. I got plenty of clearance here. So yeah, let's go back to the fab shop and then we'll cut our straight pieces. We'll get back at it and we tack these 8-inch pieces together on these. And then once we tack them up, we'll move back out to the Defender. And like I said, we'll just keep building on and on. All right, so this is one of our pieces to the Defender titanium exhaust. Everything's tacked up the way we want it. So we're gonna take it over to the bench grinder. We're gonna use a 320 buffing wheel. It just evens everything out where everything's a nice, the same color. So when you blue it, everything's nice and even. We'll start doing some bluing and some welding, and that's where all the magic happens. Get this thing looking right. It's blue right here. When we weld, it reverses it back to this silver state. This thing gives it the cool wow factor. We got the final puzzle piece from the resonator back till we go underneath the frame here. You really get to admire the detail on work like this. And if it goes to a show, you know, if they park over the mirrors or something like that, you'll be able to see it from the bottom side. Man, that's gonna be trick. It's not many Land Rover Defenders that has titanium pies exhaust. This is what custom work's all about.
Next step to the Bronco is gonna be some safety. We're gonna get the roof unbolted and get it off of the forklift so me and Robert can get in there and we're not bumping our heads, and we can work around and we can figure out how we're gonna lay this cage out. Calm down. Ruben likes to ride with passengers. He doesn't want to have to climb around all this pipe to get to his cooler.
Right, I wouldn't either.
You know, sometimes you get on them trails and get to flexing too much and tip her over. So we're gonna need to do a main hoop here and definitely something here to protect the passenger.
So let's get our measurement from the floor up to the very first bend there. That'll work. Okay.
Now the fun part is to get to bending some pipe.
As this machine bends this pipe, it's gonna give us a nice clean bend. All right, give me a little bit more.
Well, you're a little high, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it right there. Ooh-wee.
It's gonna work good. Got plenty of head clearance. So we'll weld the pads down. We'll get this tacked in here and we can build this other piece.
When you're doing these roll cage, it's very important you don't weld this pad all the way around. You just wanna get some tacks on the corners, like about 1 inch on each side. That way, if there is a rollover, it actually has to shove that pad through the floor before the cage will fail. Even if this body comes off the truck, does flips, this cage is still intact in here and saves the driver and the passengers.
So we got our main part of the cage, which is our main hoop, in. This is the most important part of the whole cage because everything's gonna tie into this. As you can see, this is what protects the cab from crushing in on the driver. So that's why it's the most important. So now it's just gonna be basically bending and fitting pipe, bending and fitting pipe. Triangulation is key when you're looking for strength. So we're gonna add some triangulation in here, possibly some gussets. Kike's gonna go ahead and get all these welds burned out and he'll drive it on over to Mario's and get it painted. You know, we got everything laid out on Ruben's truck and it's ready to go.
How many times do you think Ruben's been in and out of here? We worked on that truck.
He's probably been here 60 times. You know, I basically think we've gave Ruben everything he wanted out of this truck. I mean, this Bronco is gonna go places you never imagined. What's up, Ruben?
Man, what's up, D?
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Another day. It's beautiful out. I'm loving it.
So what's up, D? Where's my truck at? Is it almost done or what's going on?
Man, it's done. I ain't call you over here for lunch.
Man, I can't wait to see it.
Man, let's check it out, man.
Let's go.
Yo, Dad!
Oh, damn! Oh, man, that's my
Hey,
truck.
bro, what you think?
Man, I can't believe it did that. That thing is going sideways, it's crawl walking. When this truck came out rolling sideways, all 4 wheels turned the same way, it just blew my mind.
What do you think, Ruben?
Man, I love it, I love it, I love it. Ooh, I can't wait to drive it.
You know, we went through, we cleaned everything up. We took your chunk out of your rear end. We went ahead and cut the Mohawk off the bottom. It matches the front now.
Matches the front.
I know you go to the shows, everything has to look the same.
Yeah.
Now you got rear steer, dude.
I think you're gonna need a little bit of schooling from D, but you'll get it. It's cool.
So we went ahead and we built you a little 8-point cage in there.
You know, Ruben, we can't have you getting hurt. You're one of our #1 customers. You get hurt, we don't get no work. Got you a ladder so you can see up in there.
We kept this tight and as tucked up high as we can to keep clearance for your head.
Having a roll cage just gives me more confidence to ride around with open throttle and not having to think about if I'm gonna roll over. Man, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna be able to go through trails, no problems. I love the cage.
Absolutely, man. You're gonna be able to, snake this thing around just anywhere you wanna go. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it, dude.
It turns sharp now, very sharp. You'll notice it when you drive it.
You know, you're gonna have to show me a couple of tricks.
Show them how it's done, D.
Oh, man. Whoa. Damn, that's crazy. Woo.
Hey, you never turned like that before, huh?
Hell no.
right, Ruben, I hope you enjoy this truck as much as we like working on it and building it for you.
You know, Daniel, I enjoyed working on it with you. I think it come out real well.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The body's painted and the rolling chassis is finished on the 91 Defender. Now we can put it all together and get it all level.
Put it down gently.
Today we're going to be installing a level kit. The reason we're using these spacers is because we want to level out the front. The engine is heavy and it's going to set the front suspension down, so the idea with these is just going to lift it up so we can have a nice level vehicle. So we went with a bigger engine, and for that we needed bigger brakes, and for that we needed to upgrade the wheels. We went from a 16-inch wheel to a 18-inch wheel.
Looks like we have some clearance issues. We're gonna go ahead and fix those.
Yeah, there you go. Go back there. I think we're done. I just got the roof back from paint. I'm excited to see it on the vehicle. It's one step closer to completion. That's perfect. Drop the back.
Okay.
So we got the Safari cage, which essentially is for protection. It's essentially a roll cage in case they roll or they go off-roading. To install this cage, I'm gonna have to cut some square holes on the body. There's gonna be a square hole right here. I gotta cut that off, and then a bracket will be mounted in the back or in the inside. You'll see it through that hole, and then this bracket will smash in there, and then the cage will go off of that. It's a lot of modification I gotta do back here. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. Fitment's good, I'm happy with it. Just gotta clear some, make room for these holes, and other than that, I think it's perfect. On to the next one. So I got all 6 holes cut, and I'm happy with it. So next step is starting to install the cage.
Almost there.
I'm there. Man, this thing's coming together.
The Humvee was put into service in '83.
The Defender came out in '83 also.
That's legit. The Jeep was once a military vehicle. For the Humvee, you know, they'd converted it into like the H1 to be more civilian friendly.
SUV has become very popular in the marketplace, and some people need something a little bit more.
They're customizable, and that's where we come in. And there's a never-ending list of things that we can do to these vehicles. We can do brush guards, bumpers, lights, engines, full-on custom suspensions. We can do anything we like with these vehicles, and that's a big reason why we like to work on them.
Just go anywhere else that normal car can't go.
That's the beauty about having a rugged vehicle, you know, that was military base for just having fun.
You plan and plan and plan on the big builds like the Defender. But at the end of the day, everything comes together towards the end.
Nice.
And for luxury, we had this custom leather interior shipped from Europe to take it over the top. We definitely added the ruggedness the customer was looking for. I called Ryan to let him know that his Defender was ready, and he came straight here. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, heck of a day, man.
Well, it's terrible.
Mark is my wife, Alyssa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
She has an idea of what we did, right?
Okay.
But she doesn't
Great.
know what I'm doing. She just knows her car's being changed a little
Yeah,
bit,
well, all
right?
the details is what makes it special, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
All right,
do it.
let's do it. Oh my God. I didn't know what to expect, truthfully, but I'm completely blown away. It's very reminiscent of the cars that we had when I was growing up in Africa. So yeah, I grew up with Defenders. None that look like this.
Well, sure, sure. So basically, there's only about 5 parts from the original vehicle that are still there.
And of course, I think the biggest thing that I noticed when I walked in is you crushed the color.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were one that Naro Bronze paint came out amazing.
It did, yeah. It's phenomenal color, honestly. It really is.
I think I'm gonna have Miguel run with it from the chassis up.
We went with coil suspension with a nice aftermarket shock system.
It'll handle better, ride better, everything will be more comfortable, and it'll handle all that power that you're wanting underneath that hood.
I love that.
A little over 500 horsepower.
Oh, wow.
For the engine, we went with a LS3 Corvette engine.
Oh my God.
And an 8-speed transmission.
Automatic?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely. Instead of the manual, instead of those hills.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then we did big brakes on the front to help slow it down. You know, safety has been one of the things you've been echoing continually throughout the conversations back and forth. With all the custom builds that we deliver, it's all about the details that you don't see, right, at first glance. Example would be like the titanium pie cut exhaust. It's all blued and then reverse welded and everything, so it's actually not blue in the middle. I have to show you, it's what you see on Lamborghini stuff. Like it's
Oh, wow.
Never seen
Okay.
that on a Defender.
Well,
Please.
It's super cool.
The rugged luxury that I said from the beginning to Mark was completely just transformed into this vehicle. It just looks aggressive, but yet also is just classic all at the same time.
So we added a safari cage to complete the rugged luxury theme that we're going with this Defender.
So this is a little more advanced cage than maybe some that are out there because it also has an internal cage built into it.
No, I'm so glad you were able to incorporate that because I really want to make sure that anytime that Alyssa or my daughter Kaya is in there, that they're well protected and completely secure.
Absolutely.
What I really love about it, though, is how you did the gloss top and how it flows into the window. It looks seamless, but then there's like the texture where the Safari cage is like, there's a depth to it.
The panoramic windows on the back really tie into the gloss roof to make it look like one solid piece. But you can see through it because it's glass.
Let's see this interior.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is so cool.
This is the definition of rugged luxury.
Yeah, it definitely is.
LED lights, we went with a digital dash, push start, anything that you could have wanted, we got for you guys.
Well, I can see that, my goodness. All the updates are so cool. I mean, my goodness, you've made my life really easy. It's truly phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like it. You guys gave me a one-of-a-kind car, and I can't thank you enough for all of your work. I mean, you guys really knocked it out of the park with this.
This is everything that I wanted to give to her to show her how much I care about her and love her.
We've never worked on a model such as the Land Rover Defender before, but it's very similar in construction to how the Hummer was built. So I knew my team could tackle it, and they nailed it.
I can't thank you enough for doing this for her. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
I do too.